And I'm going to give everybody a second to join in here, and then we'll get to rolling on this here in a second. Got a lot to talk about, but you're going to have to kind of bear with me because I've got distractions in the background um, because of I got dogs and they're having to stay inside today because of the rain outside. And I don't know about you, but whenever I get whenever it, and I know we got to have rain. Don't get me wrong. I'm not upset about that. But whenever it rains, it is miserable around my house because the dogs can't really go out, so they bark and they get bored. And when I do let them out, they bring a lot of mud in the house, so it can suck. Really, it does. So, but I'm trying to wait. There we go. We got 34 viewers in here now, so we got a lot going on this morning across the Lone Star State and also into Oklahoma. But we've got some tornadoes in progress now across southeast Texas. We're talking about northwest of Houston, kind of east of Huntsville. And we got the cold side of things where we have developing bands of heavy snow across parts of northwest Texas and southwest Oklahoma. Now, I don't know I don't have any reports as far as accumulations and all that goes, but I do know that there are bands of snow that have developed out there, and it's going to be a slow transition, but gradually we'll see that transition to some snow further east as we head into the afternoon and the evening. Here in Wichita Falls, it looks like our temperatures are kind of holding steady in the upper 30s. We have basically just a kind of a nasty, cool rain falling outside. Hopefully, we can continue to kind of hone in on things, and I do expect at some point this evening for there perhaps to be a gradual changeover to some snow here. I still think the heaviest by far will be out west. I don't think we're going to get a lot of accumulations in the falls here, but we will keep an eye on that to see what's going on. Yeah, Kathy. Well, thank you, and it has been a stressful morning for me to say the least. Not weather-wise, it's just I got these dogs to deal with when it's raining outside, and it just makes it really stressful. And my wife is still asleep, so it just makes it real hard to be able to do what I got to do. I tried to do a TikTok live a minute ago, and it was just about impossible to do. Plus, my computer's been locking up. I bought all this equipment here, and it's just kind of locking up on me here. So, but anyway, let's go to the radar and kind of talk about what is going on here with this here. So we're gonna move this over a little bit. Give me just a second here, kind of situate things around a bit. All right, so let's kind of talk about the radar here this morning. So I don't have the precipitation types drawn on here, but I'm trying to show you what's called reflectivity. And the reflectivity, and this is just the regular radar mode, shows these pockets of blues and greens. Now the blues and the greens represent mostly light rain over here. This would be all rain, Lawton down to Wichita Falls in these areas. But then you get closer to Vernon, and I believe this is all rain too. But you get over here west of Vernon, and it looks to me like from about Mangum, Hollis, kind of down towards Kroll, there's some what's called brighter banding on radar. And I think the radar is seeing um, perhaps maybe some snowflakes and wet snowflakes in there. And it may be also showing where there's a band of heavier precipitation. So if you are watching me from out west here, like towards Quanah, Childress, Kroll, any of those areas, Vernon, just let me know what you got going on, over your way. I'd like to get a little bit of an update there. So on this Sunday morning here, let's put the precipitation masks on now, and this is the radar is estimating based upon model data that the rain has transitioned to snow over here near Quanah, Altus, down to Kroll. This would be in Hardeman, Ford County, parts of Knox County, then back towards Paducah and those areas. There's your upper air storm center. You can kind of see the curve there from about Benjamin over to Floyd Data, and we can kind of go back into Lubbock, and I can show you. It is. I know for sure it's snowing in Lubbock this morning. And there's some bands of heavy snow between Amarillo and Lubbock. Give it a minute and it should download. There it is. So if you look at those pink colors, there's some really heavy snow bands between Lubbock and Plainview. Pretty heavy snow in Plainview at this hour. And you can kind of see those bands that kind of stretch over from about Paducah, Matador, Plainview, Floydada, Littlefield, mostly kind of light to moderate snow in Lubbock at this hour. But this is the core, the upper level core there of our storm. That's where the coldest temperatures are being detected with this particular storm system here. And there are some bands of some heavy snow here on the north side. The back side of it would be kind of over here in the eastern parts of the New Mexico area. But as we get into the afternoon and this main upper air storm system moves eastward, the pocket of cold air that's associated with it will move over parts. So it will move over more of all of Texoma, really, all of northwest Texas and southwest Oklahoma. And if the precipitation can come down hard enough, you'll see the rain change over to snow this afternoon. But at least for right now, in my area. All right, so Kroll is getting snowing in Quanah. Thank you for that. How much do you have on the ground? Do you got any accumulations yet? Looks like it's snowing pretty heavily over that way. If I had to say so myself, it looks like it is, but I can't confirm that. But you can see there on my radar, it looks like some pockets of heavy snow. And since the upper level core is so cold, it is increasing what we call lapse rates aloft, and there could be some rumbles of thunder this afternoon with some of these bands of heavier precipitation. So don't be surprised if you see heavy snow and a rumble or thunder. But again, your heaviest band of snow is west and northwest of Quanah Kroll, and if these bands can continue to develop over there with heavy snow in these spots, it's going to accumulate heavily, and there could be quite a bit of accumulation over this way. Now, in Vernon, Texas, you're just seeing rain at this hour, but if you look just northwest of you, along 287 over towards Chillicothe and those areas, the radar estimates that is your snow line, your rain snow line, down towards Thalia. So it is a gradual process. It's not moving super quick, but I would think by the next couple of hours, we should see the rain change over to snow in Vernon. That was how that pocket of cold air continues to rotate around and move into northwest Texas. Again, this is a very wet, heavy snow. A lot of what accumulates on the ground with this type of situation is wet and slushy. But if it snows heavy enough, that can still create some travel problems. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Further to the east, again, we're just looking at rain here in Wichita Falls. I do not expect snow here until maybe very late this afternoon or early this evening. By the way, let's take a look at some of the weather data here. That's what we're about to do. We're about to pull in some weather data so we can have a look at that too. See, here we go. Elaine, too much water for the snow to be sticking at this time. See, that's the problem with it here. It's snowing, and it's a wet snow, and it's not going to change. It's not going to all of a sudden be dry. But it's a wet snow, and it's going to take a while for it to melt enough for the temperatures to get cold enough, and it'll still be wet, but it'll be slushy. So that'll be the interesting thing to see. And I think that's what's going to kind of temper some of the accumulations this afternoon. Is the fact that it's just going to have a hard time sticking, or hard time. Actually, it's not really. It's building up. It's accumulating. It's building up. It's a buildup is what it is. So it's going to have a hard time building up there. Let's try to pull in some weather data. Give me just a second here. I have to change my sources. All right, so this is something new I've just purchased. So let's see how well this works. I don't know how well it's going to work, but we will see. All right. So if we take a look at things, we're going to go back. This is the HRRR computer model. And this would have been from 13. That would have been about 7 o'clock. This is the run from 7 o'clock this morning. Let's go up to the latest run. Here's the run from, this is still a couple hours behind, but this is the run from around 9 o'clock. So it does show, and you have to be, you kind of have to understand with the radar. These are estimates by the radar itself, by the computer model itself. And the computer model itself is suggesting that that would potentially be snow Anywhere you see, this would not be ice or this is all snow. This is not going to be a sleet or a freezing rain situation. But if we put this in motion, that's doing a pretty good job. But see, to me, this is a little bit too slow. This is showing the rain snow line still west of Vernon by, well, I mean, yeah, that's pretty accurate. That says 16Z, which would be now. So that's actually a pretty good forecast there. And again, this is the HRRR. We're trying to watch and see. But see, it's having a hard time pushing that snow line to the east. In fact, what I believe it's trying to do is, that upper air storm system tries to move in, it's trying to push warmer air in from the east. So I don't know how well this is handling the situation here. But as you can see, it keeps the rain snow line all west of Wichita Falls and Lawton, and even Vernon. So I'm not sure how accurate that is. Here's another computer model simulation of what the radar might look like. And again, that purple just represents heavy snow. And this would show and this is probably a little more accurate. This would show by around lunchtime, maybe early afternoon. This shows about, well, what would this be? 20Z. So it'd be about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The rain snow line pushing through Vernon. I think it could be sooner than that though. And then this shows the rain trying to transition to snow over into Wichita Falls by around 6 o'clock this evening. And you can see some of that heavy snow just continues to fall, to the west, and even over Wichita Falls, some moderate snow. But there could be rain mixed in with it as well. It's going to have to come down pretty hard in order for it to transition to all snow. But that looks to me like a pretty accurate forecast. And based upon that, you just notice how it just continues to snow heavy in Hardeman, Ford, Wheelbarger, Tillman, Jackson County, and maybe even into Comanche County. And then eventually Wichita Falls gets in on it. The problem continues that there's just not a lot in the way of oh, hey, Molly. Of cold air at the Earth's surface. If it were colder outside, I'd be like, and we're about to get whacked. It even shows Oklahoma City getting in on the act up there too. So, you're having to rely upon heavy precipitation to help drag that colder air down to the Earth's surface that's suspended just aloft in order for this to even, produce snow. Let me go see what's going on. I'll be right back. No. All right, I'm sorry about that, guys. When you have puppies, it's like having a daggum toddler. I swear, man. They're into everything. If you turn your back for a minute, they just go crazy. So, but anyway, it does look like anyway that if we do get snow here in Wichita Falls, it'll be this evening, and there could be, if it comes down hard enough, we could see some slushy accumulations. But as far as travel conditions, I don't think we'll see much of that. Yeah, I can understand that because Lubbock, Plainview, those areas are getting, and they're going to see a lot more. I think over the oh, what am I trying to say here? I'm having a brain fart. Over the afternoon, it should gradually taper off. But there's your snowfall showing accumulations, and trying to see. I'm not, like I say, I'm not real familiar with this program yet, but it is trying to show what looks like to me accumulations, those would be where you see the broader colors. That would show some pretty significant accumulations over there in Wilbarger, Hardeman, Ford counties, and then back towards Plainview. Here in the falls, the problem with Wichita Falls, I just don't know that we're going to have a long enough duration of heavy snow for that to really do anything. I mean, it could, but yeah, I just don't know that we're going to see a long enough duration. I do think Vernon Electric could get some wet accumulations, and it's the temperatures of the Earth's surface that are really keeping this and holding this system back, really. So that's what we're looking at anyway. And I know, and I do apologize, y'all. This is definitely a work in progress for me with a lot of this new equipment. But look at those bright colors showing where that snow is accumulating. This is the HER model, and I just don't know that it's handling the situation very well. All right, so on the flip side of that, we have severe weather ongoing across um, southeast Texas, and we can try to switch views here, switch sources, and kind of talk briefly about that. And there's your latest radar update. See, the computer model we were looking at, the HER model, you know, tried to hold that rain snow line back to the west for a long time, and to me it looks like it's already trying to move east a little bit, but it's going to be a gradual transition, and I just don't know how well our models are going to handle this. I just don't think they're going to handle it very well. But if you haven't gotten accumulations yet in Hardeman and Ford County, you will. It's going to be a wet accumulation, and the temperatures are probably going to come down there close to about 31, 32, 33 degrees, somewhere in there, as that snow continues to fall and melt. You can see what looks like at least the precipitation mask are showing some transitions down northwest of Lawton and kind of down towards Frederick. Give me a second, y'all. I'll be right back. But anyway, I'm back. Sorry, I just had to keep babysit these dogs. But it looks like to me the transition line isn't that far from Vernon. And based upon some of our weather data, I wouldn't be surprised, by 1 o'clock to see it snowing in Vernon there. It could be a little sooner in Frederick, but kind of in that time frame. But again, I don't think that transition here in Wichita Falls will take place until very late this afternoon or even early this evening. And the question will be at that time, how heavy will the precipitation be? Because when you don't have temperatures below freezing, then um, if you don't have temperatures below freezing, then you have to rely upon the precipitation being heavy enough to build up. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I do apologize, but anyway, like I was saying a minute ago, in order to be able to get accumulations, you're having to rely on the snow to fall down heavy enough to help bring the temperatures down and to also help accumulate and build up all that slush. So I got the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, Johnny. So anyway, and I absolutely hate the 49ers. I don't like the Chiefs either, but I despise the 49ers. I do like Brock Purdy, though. So let's switch gears here. One thing I don't like about this particular um, radar software you have to click on the sites just to be able to pull in, the 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 maps and whatnot. But this is here are some tornado warnings. This storm in particular has had a history of producing a tornado down here. Right now, looks like there's tornado warning for. Well, let's see what county this is. And click on it. And some of these counties I'm just real bad at reading off. So and it doesn't even say the counties on here. So this is out of Lake Charles. So, but anyway, we do have some severe weather ongoing down this way. This storm has had a history of producing a tornado, and this little rotation there still near Chester. So it looks like we still got a possible tornado associated with this storm down there, Chester, and it's moving east to the north of the Woodville area and kind of heading towards Rockland. So if you're familiar with that spot, this is all going to be southeast of College Station and north of Houston. This is actually about to head over into southwestern Louisiana here shortly. So this will be out in, looks like it's going to go north of Jasper, Texas too, and eventually kind of head towards Pineland and Browndale and kind of over there along Toledo Bend Reservoir over the next few hours. But this is the warm side of the storm, is southeastern parts of Texas. And you go over into Mississippi, there's some, or Louisiana, there's some hail-producing thunderstorms over there, and we could wind up seeing some more tornadic activity this afternoon across southern and central Louisiana, and then this evening, this evening, there could be some severe weather over there in Mississippi. Mostly looking at a hail threat, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple more tornadoes develop in places like Lake Charles, Louisiana, and maybe eventually kind of up north of Interstate 10 there, north of Lake Charles, north of Lafayette, and then maybe over into southwest Mississippi this afternoon and this evening. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But in the meantime, our main focus, at least here, is going to be the transition from rain to snow, and when that happens, and how much snow we wind up how much snow we wind up getting from this particular system here. The radar really isn't filling in a whole lot. There's a lot of little spotty showers, and I will say that some of our weather data, and it's not something that isn't unexpected, but some of the weather data was probably too heavy last night with some of the precipitation amounts. So I can go back to your preset mask, and still looks like the rain snow line is kind of part northwest of Lawton and kind of just west of Frederick and northwest of Vernon, although it does look like it's getting closer to Vernon. I'm not certain that you're getting snow there yet. Probably nothing in Vernon yet, but it looks like maybe up towards Chillicothe and Quanah there could be some. But this is a situation where you could transition to snow, but if the snow bands aren't heavy enough, you may transition back to a rain-snow mix at times, especially the further east you go. Now, out west, their elevation helps them more. The temperatures are colder back towards Lubbock and Plainview in these areas because they're higher up. They're closer to where the center of the storm is. They're closer to that source of cold air. But then you come off the Cap Rock and you get over our way, and you don't have that same elevation here. It's a lot lower. So what you wind up getting is you're going to wind up getting temperatures at the surface that will probably stay above freezing unless you get some pockets of heavy snow over you. And I don't expect pockets of heavy snow into Wichita Falls until maybe this evening for a little while. But I don't know that it's going to snow hard enough and long enough for us to get a lot here. But there should be at least some, with maybe some slushy accumulation. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's try to take a look now at some of the questions I have here. So John Simmons says, this was a little bit ago, starting to stick in Quanah. Well, that's not, and you're going to continue to see it accumulate over there. Crowell is getting heavy snow. Thank you, Jennifer, for that. Too much water for the snow to stick. What time do you think it will turn to snow here in Vernon? I think by 1 o'clock, maybe even a little sooner. Again, Wichita Falls, if we get anything, it won't be until this evening. I don't think we'll see the chance for the rain to change to snow here until 6 o'clock or even later. Well, I hope your granddaughter does get to see it, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. Not a whole lot. I don't expect a lot of snow in Alney, Johnny. You might get some wet snowflakes. I just don't think you're going to see a lot there. Well, good. Thank you for that report, Rudy. For the snow is starting to snow in Chillicothe. Well, I do appreciate the offer there, but I am not going to do anything at this time. Their hospital, I can't say, know how to say your name. Well, that's kind of expected there. You just don't have solid, and that's something else that could also bring down snowfall totals too. You got to keep that snow coming down hard, and it just doesn't look like it. As of right now, there's just not a consistent, steady band. It's kind of scattered, and it's kind of I think that's kind of hurting, and that could kind of hurt this a little bit. We'll have to just kind of see how it all winds up playing out. You can see on the radar here. I can kind of go back over to that and show you. Well, I'm gonna have guys. I'm gonna have to go. These dogs are about to drive me absolutely nuts. But you can see for yourself how the heaviest snow bands have now shifted north to Kroll. We'll just have to see, as the storm center itself comes into play this afternoon and this evening. We'll have to just kind of see how these bands wind up shaping up. As of right now, there just isn't, a whole lot of confidence in super heavy snow over here. Although I do think it will pick up from time to time, but it needs to stay consistent. But if you look down towards Benjamin, there's another pocket of heavy snow increasing there, and that's going to rotate north up towards Kroll and Chillicothe. So you're going to continue to see it over here. Vernon, rain snow line is up towards Chillicothe at this hour. It looks like it's trying to drop south down towards you. Looks like it's trying to get into Frederick now. Steadily making progress now to the south and the southeast. That's a pocket of cold air. Remember, these upper air systems are very hard to forecast and can be very, very tricky. Up towards Oklahoma City, looks like it's snowing west of you. Lawton, it's just rain there for now, but it looks like there might be this transition maybe trying to take place just northwest of you now, and that's going to continue for the rest of the afternoon. So it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out. You can kind of see on the radar. Notice this curved look here. That is the front lobe of our upper air storm center, which is located kind of near Lubbock. So that's going to progress eastward this afternoon and kind of up towards Wichita Falls by this evening. So as you get on the north and the west side of that, you're going to get some pockets of heavy snow and precipitation. But of course, as it gets further east, the temperatures are going to be, especially at the Earth's surface, they're going to try to warm some. So the precipitation has to come down heavy enough for it to compensate for the lack of colder air at the Earth's surface. But I do look for, and there's probably a way to draw on here, but I don't know how to do this um, with this particular system. Yeah, I don't see any tools to draw with, but I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I just haven't figured it out yet. But I do expect that rain snow line to gradually transition. And it looks like it might be snowing pretty heavy now north of Vernon up towards maybe the northern parts of Will Barker County. It looks like some heavy snow develop. So you're seeing the heavy snow bands develop now over in this area. Let me see if there is any mesoscale discussions here from the Storm Prediction Center for snowfall back into this area. Yep, there is, but it's back to the west there towards, whoops, that's the wrong one. Yeah, just kind of talking about back to the west, how that heavy snow is near Plainview and Lubbock. But I do look for that heavy snow to continue to gradually build. So, Altus, you're getting in on the act now too, and look for our western counties to continue to see that transition to snow from west to east. But again, here in the falls, no issues expected really, no accumulations really expected here until a little bit later on this evening. Um, so maybe perhaps 5, 6 o'clock, maybe there'd be a chance for some snowfall accumulations here, but we'll have to just kind of wait and see how it all kind of plays out there. So. Well, it looks like we're kind of seeing our viewership kind of go down here, and I do apologize for the problems that I have. I need to, kind of work with this program here a little bit more so I can get it better for you guys. But I need time to do that, but I hadn't had much time. But anyway, I will do another update here this afternoon. We'll try to do updates, as frequent as we can. Of course, we got the Super Bowl. I need to go get some food to cook. We got the Super Bowl on. Looks like it comes on around 5:30, but there'll be a lot of pregame stuff going on channel on CBS or News Channel 6 this afternoon. So, guys, we certainly aren't doing any cut-ins over the Super Bowl, so don't worry about that. In fact, I'm not going to run that crawl or bug or anything over that. But if you guys will just have your phones on you, your devices, whatever it is, I will have updates throughout the day here on my YouTube and Facebook channels. We'll try to get into some TikTok, but that TikTok studio, TikTok doesn't make it easy for you to stream. You got to go to their studio platform to do it, and that thing sucks. I mean, I'm just facing it. That the TikTok studios suck. Everything freezes up all the time. I don't like it, but much easier to do it here on Facebook and YouTube. So, but anyway, that's all I have for right now. I am going to, like I say, we will have updates off and on throughout the afternoon here on this channel here. Um, so we'll kind of keep you updated on that. So just be looking forward on my YouTube and Facebook pages, and we'll try to do at least some TikTok. So